Welcome to the TalkersandGeeks.com review of South Park Phone Destroyer, which is available for your iPhone and Androids. So let's give you an overview of the game before I talk about my experiences. Here we go. So South Park Phone Destroyer brings you iconic South Park characters, action-packed real-time strategy, exploding PvP battles, trademark South Park humor, and collectible cards in a perfect mix that spices the Cartman, that's spicier than Cartman's chili, carne. Assemble the ultimate team of cowboys, wizards, cyborgs, and more, and get ready to crush your opponent. And I have to admit, you guys, this game is awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the graphics since we're seeing the gameplay right here. The graphics is pitch perfect because it nails the show. It's the same feel as the console games Stick of Truth and the Fractured Butthole. This has the South Park feel all over it, and which makes it great. It's free to play and on your phone, so you can take it anywhere you want. And I absolutely love the humor of this. And just the opening of the story is you once again are playing a new kid. And I'm not sure how it lies continuity-wise between Stick of Truth and the Fractured Butthole, whether it's before, the middle, or after the sequel game. But I do say that it's still hilarious when it comes to this humor. It doesn't have as much voice acting cutscenes as the console versions, but the text is still hilarious. And I'm not going to spoil any of the jokes, but I was laughing while I was on the train, just reading certain things that Cartman was saying. And just talk a little bit about the gameplay, as you guys just previously just saw right there. The gameplay is a card-based real-time strategy game, and once you finish each episode, which is divided, you get to upgrade your cards. Now, depending on how high and strong your cards are, it will determine how strong your attacks are, how strong your defense is, and everything else. So each South Park character has various special abilities that will aid you in your quest. So the whole idea is to actually catch all the cards that you can and hopefully be able to build a strong team base for what you're trying to do. And once you get to do that, you also get to have the option to upgrade your cards too. So the more upgrades you do, the more you'll be able to get strong battles. And the game also offers PvP, which is something that you guys got to see. And as you can see from here, what I was just going to show you is the story base that you have. So you have to do it by each episode. So each episode you'll encounter certain things. There will be times that you have to encounter the kids playing cowboys versus Indians, wizards, cyborgs. So it just goes on and on and on and on what you get to do. And then from there, once you collect your cards, you get to go to the management system to upgrade your characters, as you can see here with Cartman and various other characters, which you'll be able to upgrade and see what powers they have for you to actually do your phone base. And since this is free to play, I will have to say this: the microtransactions, truthfully, you don't really need it. You don't really have to pay for that much, believe it or not, which I was actually pleasantly surprised. It is free to play. Like, you do get to buy stronger cards, which I believe is cost $3.99 and up. But if you continue to grind, you continue to play the levels on hard, because you have 3 of the levels that you get to do, and you get to get more cards and stuff like that. You're also able, which was always fun, is to customize. You get to unlock a lot more stuff. So you get to unlock more clothes and gear for your avatar, so he can look differently. So I'm gonna have my guy looking like a cowboy, and trust me, Cartman does rip on you when you change your clothes, which I thought was pretty cool. And just the menu here. So I was talking to you guys earlier about this is what you do when it comes to getting more cards and more packs. You can get in-game money by just continuing to play the game, or like I said, since this is free to play, you can buy using your real cash to get it. But it's not as brutal as a lot of these microtransaction games that are coming out. And I'm looking at you, Battlefront. But this one is pretty fun. Like, you can still buy everything in-game, which I really did respect with the creators. They didn't want to milk you dry with free to play. But I would say this: when it comes to you playing the PvP battles, that is probably when the factor of people using microtransaction will come into play, because you will definitely be encountering players that have paid for more stronger cards that will completely annihilate you. So I will say that's probably one of the biggest flaws. And I will say another big complaint would be that the story progression does not actually go forward until you do a couple of mandatory PvP battles, and unfortunately your opponents can be random. So you can be facing somebody that is completely stronger than you, and if you continually keep facing that same person, or you keep getting matched up with people that's higher level than you, you getting to that next episode is going to be difficult because the requirement of you playing PvP. Now, I haven't talked about gameplay now, so I'm going to show you gameplay and talk a little bit about the gameplay real quick. Now, what you're watching here is my actual footage of me playing PvP against another player. Now, the idea is for you to destroy the other player. When it comes to PvP, you got to destroy their little box that they're standing on. And now, depending on your cards, you use the touchscreen to drag your cards, and hopefully you will get to be able to, depending on how strong your cards are, depending on how strong your characters are, you'll be able to mop the floor with them. If not, well, you have to do certain strategies. Like Cartman has a special attack where he can attack everybody. Kyle will raise your stats up a little bit. Butters will also raise your stats and do a nice, decent attack. So you have to figure out which South Park character is beneficial for you and what strategy you're going for. So it really does require some real strategy, which I did really enjoy with the game. I will definitely say this: if I had to rate this, I would say definitely download it if you're a South Park fan, or if you just want a game that's really going to kill some time. We rate it from download it later, or skip. So I would definitely say download it now. If you're a big South Park fan, this is something you can have on mobile, which I think is really, really good. It's fun. The story is solid. The dialogue is hilarious, even though there's not much voice acting. But the production value still gives you that South Park feel, which everybody still wants. And the gameplay is actually pretty solid. It takes a lot of strategy. And the PvP is very fun, except for when you are facing somebody that's completely dominant, overpowered. And the microtransactions, not too bad, but you could have been done without it. But overall, you guys, I would definitely say download South Park Phone Destroyer. It is a very fun game. And if for those who really want to know letter grades, I'm going to give it a B+. And for those who want to know stars, I'll give it 3.5 stars. It's a pretty decent game. This is Justin from MetallicasGeeks.com saying later days. Catch you on the next one.